Hello, I'm Ron Powell, industry analyst and expert. I'm here with Brian Wood, Director of Cloud Marketing at Teradata. Welcome, Brian.
Hey, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Teradata made a major cloud announcement recently. Can you tell us about it?
We announced that Teradata Database will be available on Amazon Web Services in the first quarter of next year. This is a really big deal for us. It opens the market for Teradata Database to a much broader audience than what we currently have now. The largest and most successful companies on the planet use Teradata to run their businesses, and now in the public cloud on AWS, it opens it up to a much broader range of potential customers. Hourly pay-as-you-go type format makes it much more accessible to a broader range of companies and prospective customers. Disruptive for Teradata because for over 35 years we've had these highly engineered systems, the software and the underlying platform hardware tightly coupled, highly engineered for maximum performance. And so by putting our software in a virtualized environment where the compute and storage resources are not tightly integrated with the software, that's a major change for us, not only technology-wise, but also in how we support the product and how we think about the services that can be offered with it. It's very different for us. Big announcement. We're very excited about it, and we think it's going to be one of many steps that help change the company.
What type of customers might want to do analytics in the cloud?
All types. We have Teradata Cloud now. This next offering is Teradata in the public cloud on AWS. In both cases, any customer type, whether small, medium, or large, or regardless of vertical market, we have customers and prospects all across the board. Examples would be Netflix is kind of one of our marquee Teradata Cloud customers. They famously have moved all their IT operations out of data centers and into the cloud. They're an example where they have massive amounts of data in AWS, and they use Teradata Cloud for their advanced analytics. They're all-in type customer. We also have companies like Core Digital Media, which is an existing Teradata appliance customer, and they use Teradata Cloud for disaster recovery. So a secondary site rather than a physical secondary data center, they use Teradata Cloud for their secondary instance. We have companies like Bevmo, West Coast retailer of alcoholic beverages and all the party fixins that go with it. They do their production analytics using Teradata Cloud. We've got on-premise healthcare, a healthcare company which, like financial companies or insurance companies, are heavily regulated. There's strong security and privacy concerns, but we've got them covered in a cloud environment, and so they use Teradata Cloud. A whole range, and it's the same whether it's our purpose-built managed environment in Teradata Cloud or in the near future on AWS, it's the same thing. There's no company type that it would not be appropriate for. If they're focused on advanced analytics and they want the very best in Teradata, then they can get it through these services in the cloud.
Wow, Netflix. I look at Teradata scale. I mean, Netflix, obviously, with what they're pushing across scale is really important.
It's huge, and that's one thing about cloud is you have virtually unlimited scalability, especially in the public cloud arena where bringing up new instances, new compute and storage instances, is literally a click of a button or an automated script, and the ability to go big and then also to bring it back down and go small or turn it off and only pay for what you use. This is a big reason why cloud services are so exciting to companies. It used to be you'd have to buy for your high tide mark, and a lot of those resources were left underutilized most of the time. Well, now if you just are only paying for what you use, and you can scale up and scale down, and not just like a little bit, you can scale massively and then bring it back down to zero. That's the type of capability that never existed before cloud services. So it's pretty exciting for us and for our customers.
So are there any trade-offs associated with doing analytics in the cloud?
There's no silver bullet for anything. I'd say the biggest trade-off is really between performance and flexibility. The on-premises, highly engineered platforms, our enterprise-class platforms and our appliances, those are going to have and will continue to have maximum performance because there is this tight coupling between the software and the underlying hardware resources. And Teradata Database uses 100% of the available compute capacity. You're not going to get any better than that. But on the other hand, cloud services provide massive flexibility. what we just talked about, to be able to bring up, bring down, pay as you go. Many customers have data sources that are already in the cloud, or there's partner software they want to connect to that may be on-premises or cloud-based. There's a lot more flexibility there than in a physical system in a data center. That's really the trade-off. I think of it like a slinky. You move your hand up and down, and you've got performance and flexibility. It's the type of thing where it's not this or that. We expect most customers will have a hybrid deployment. They're going to have some workloads on premises, some in the purpose-built managed environment of Teradata Cloud, and then some in the public clouds. And it's not necessarily that it'd be production on premises and QA in the managed environment and test dev in the public cloud. It'll be mix and match depending on the customers and their priorities and their resources, and it might evolve over time. The cool thing about it is it's this very same Teradata database software in all of these deployment modes. It's not like we've got a light or a diet or a scaled-back version. It's the very same. There's no lost investment. If you've developed things for one environment, you just simply port it over to the other and you're off and running.
So it's really giving your customers a lot of options, a lot of alternatives to how they do their business.
That's right. And customers have been asking for this. So, partly this is in response to customer demand. They want more flexibility and deployment choices, but it's also a huge market opportunity for us. By lowering the financial barrier to entry, cloud in general is transforming capital expense, your huge upfront investment of a purchased product, over to operational expense, a subscription that's spread over time. Similar to renting an apartment or a house or a car, you're able to get into something that if you had to buy it outright, you could never do. But if you can pay it on a monthly basis and amortize it over time, that opens up a whole another range of options. And it's the same thing with Teradata. Traditionally, we've had the very largest customers in the world, and now with these cloud services, it opens us up to small and medium businesses, new markets and new areas that really we didn't have access to before.
Brian, it's been a pleasure talking to you about Teradata in the cloud.
Thanks. Happy to be here. Appreciate it, Ron.